welcome to another episode of the Six Past Six Sports Show. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Join me on the road to 100 subscribers. It is currently 6 past 6. Why are you still sleeping? New football content coming every single day. With that being said, let's get into it. Today we're predicting every team's win-loss record, starting with the Arizona Cardinals. The Cards are coming off a disappointing 2024 season, missing the playoffs last year and going 8-9. They had a solid draft this year, though. Drafted Walter Nolan and Will Johnson. They look to bounce back this year, and if they want to have a chance, Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. are the major keys. Shout out to DJ Khaled. I see them improving this season and finishing the year with a 9-8 record. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons benched Kirk Cousins last year in favor of Michael Penix, but I'm sure you all already know that by now. Now it's time for the Penix Show, and I'm not talking adult films. The Falcons are loaded on offense. They'll have to find a way to pressure the quarterback better this year. In 2024, they only had 31 sacks, which ranked 25th in the league. The Falcons focus on defense in the draft, drafting Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., and Xavier Watts all within the first 3 rounds. If the defense can improve and get them sacks, this team could realistically go 1-16 or 2-15 at best. But a lot of that depends on if Penix does a good job as a full-time starter. Now, let's get to the Baltimore Ravens. This team truly has a chance to win the Super Bowl every year around this time, but then they come up short every year in the postseason. Lamar is truly a generational quarterback. It would be so good for the sport of football to see him win a ring. But I don't think that happens this year. They will still dominate, especially with adding DeAndre Hopkins and drafting Malachi Starks and Mike Green. I think they end up going 12-5, max 14-3. Buffalo Bills are next on my list. The Bills were so close to getting to the Super Bowl last year, they just can't seem to get past Kansas City in the playoffs. This will be another solid year for Josh Allen and company. The Bills added Joey Bosa in free agency and landed Maxwell Harrison in the first round of the draft. Look for them to easily win the AFC East with a 12-5 record. Carolina Panthers are next up. Last year, they finished dead last in the NFC South, tied with the Saints. However, they saw some flashes of potential from Bryce Young late in the season. Panthers added T-Mac and Nick Skouerton in the first 2 rounds of the draft. If the Panthers can build on what they were building last season, this will be a good year for them. It all comes down to if Bryce Young is actually the guy for them or not. I have them locked in right now at 7-10 on this year. Chicago Bears are next up on the list. They showed flashes last year but ended up going 5-12. Caleb Wilson had a solid rookie season, but the Bears fans look for him to be next level this year. He has the supporting cast and the head coach to put it all together. If that offense gets hot, they could be trouble this year. I see them finishing the season at 9-8, just missing the playoffs. Cincinnati Bengals are looking to build on a season where they missed the playoffs despite having one of the best offenses in the whole NFL. This year, they will need to start off hot to avoid digging themselves a hole like they've been known to do the last few years. At the time of this recording, Trey Henderson still hasn't signed a deal with the team, so it may be hard to count on the defense to be solid. This year, they finish at 11-5 and make the playoffs, though. Cleveland Browns. Well, this team has been ass since Deshaun Watson's been on there. Last year, they finished with a 3-14 record. They have a 4-man QB battle on their hands, but I think whoever wins the starting job will lead them to a better record than last year. I mean, come on, 4 wins is better than 3. I have them finishing at 5-12, improvement, but still struggles from the dog pound. Dallas Cowboys get Dak back from injury this year. They added George Pickens in a trade, but their success this year really depends on if they can stay healthy and if Micah Parsons gets traded or not. If he ends up playing, they could have a comeback year and improve on their record of 7-10. I see them finishing with a 9-8 record. Denver Broncos drafted Bo Nix in the first round last year, and it looks like it already is paying off. They made the playoffs last season, and they look to improve on that this year. They brought in Jahdae Barron and R.J. Harvey in the draft. Also, they added Dre Greenlaw and Evan Ingram, among others, in free agency. They finished the season with 10 wins again, but will that be enough in a crowded AFC? Detroit looked like a clear Super Bowl favorite until it mattered. They returned a lot of their key pieces on offense and defense, but they lost both of their coordinators to head coaching jobs. This season is a huge one for Detroit. They have another solid season and finish at 13-4 in 2025. Green Bay Packers. This will be a huge year for the Packers. They added Matthew Golden in the first round of the draft, and they look to improve on an impressive 2025 campaign. They are in the toughest division in football currently, and they'll have to go through teams like Minnesota and Detroit to make the playoffs in a crowded NFC. I think they make the cut with a 10-7 record. Houston Texans. Man, the fans down there are praying Stroud's sophomore slump is over and that the Texans can be elite this year. They have all the weapons, a great head coach, and a weak division. They signed Nick Chubb in the offseason and added more weapons for CJ in the draft. I could truly see them going 12-5 this year if everything clicks right for them. Indianapolis Colts. This team is truly hard to predict. The most important position in the NFL is quarterback, and their room really looks terrible. They have a very solid roster besides the QB position, so I think they can still piece together an okay season and maybe about 7-10 to 9-8. That's about the range for them. Do you think that'll be enough to get them into the playoffs? Jacksonville Jaguars. They were not good in 2024. A lot of people are starting to wonder if Trevor Lawrence is really just a bust at this point in his career. He has the weapons to have a good season. They added Travis Hunter in the draft. He looks to be a big difference maker for this squad. I think they finished the season with a 7-10 record, improving majorly over their 4-13 record of last year. Kansas City Chiefs. What can I say about this team that hasn't already been said 1,000 times? They look to bounce back from a tough Super Bowl blowout. Travis Kelce is back for at least one more ride. The Chiefs are obviously Super Bowl favorites already. I predict another solid season, 12-5 this year. Las Vegas Raiders. This is also a tough team to predict. They have a new coaching staff, a new QB, a new running back, and a defense that could be top 10 this year. They added Jeremy Chin and Alex Kappa in free agency and drafted Ashon Jeanty in the first round of the draft. This team will improve over last year's record of 4-13 for sure. My guess is they'll go about 8-9 this year. Los Angeles Chargers are entering their second season with Jim Harbaugh as the head coach. They look to improve on the good season they had last year. It all comes down to if the Chargers find Lad McConkey some help. They did recently add Keenan Allen back to the roster, which could end up being a solid move. I see them having another good year, going 10-7. Los Angeles Rams. Longtime Rams star Cooper Kupp is now catching balls from Sam Darnold in Seattle. They are trying to replace him with Devontae Adams. This team will still be really good in 2025, going 11-6. Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins went 8-9 in 2024, but they look to beef up their defense with key additions like Kenneth Grant and Minka Fitzpatrick. This team's success rides on if Tua stays healthy or not. They have all the potential to be an 11-win team, but I think realistically they go 9-8. Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are starting the season with another quarterback under center. This year it's J.J. McCarthy's turn to lead the Vikes. He has a crazy amount of talent surrounding him. If he can do what he did in Michigan, this team will be scary good. My prediction, 12-5. New England Patriots. Year 2 of Drake May, and he now actually has some weapons to toss the rock to. He also now has a new head coach who has proven he knows how to win. Either the Patriots start putting everything together this year, or they probably never will. They improve on their record of 4-13 and finish the year with a 7-10 record, which is definitely something to be excited about if you're a Patriots fan. The Saints went 5-12 last year and finished tied for last in the South. They currently have a QB battle on their hands between Shuck and Rattler. This looks like it could be a real tough season for us Saints fans. I went a little wild saying 3-14 on my last video. I think they can definitely get 4 wins this season if they try real hard. New York Giants. The Giants actually look like they may finally be on the right track. They added Russell Wilson, Abdul Carter, and Jackson Dart this offseason among other big moves. Neighbors will actually have a competent QB throwing him touchdowns this season. The whole NFL should be worried. They finished the season right around 8-9 this year. Is that enough to save Brian Dable's job? New York Jets. The Jets went 5-12 last year. They added some key additions like Justin Fields and Mason Taylor. I need to see Fields play with this team in an actual game before I know how I truly feel about them. But as of right now, I think they'll finish the season with around a 7-10 record. Philadelphia Eagles. This team got hot at the end of the season and didn't look back. Could they possibly be the next back-to-back Super Bowl champions? This team is so loaded that honestly, the sky is the limit for them. I see them having another solid season this year, finishing the year at 13-4. Pittsburgh Steelers. Could this possibly be Mike Tomlin's first losing season? Not if Grandpa Rogers has anything to say about it. They added Jalen Ramsey and Juju Smith, among other key roster moves this offseason. They went 10-7 and got whooped in the playoffs last year. This year, I think they go 9-8 and keep that streak alive. San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers caught the injury bug worse than I've ever seen last season. This season, they look to bounce back and make some noise in the NFC West. If they stay healthy, they can be a sleeper playoff team. 10-7 this year. Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold is taking over at the quarterback position. He is without star wide receiver DK Metcalf, but he still has plenty of weapons around him, and that defense will be solid this season. I do think Seattle takes a step back this year and goes 8-9. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do the Bucks have a Super Bowl window? If so, how much longer is it open? This team is the frontrunner to win the NFC South, that's for sure. I think Baker Mayfield may be in the MVP talks by the end of the season. He won't win it, but yeah, 11-5 this year. Tennessee Titans. Welcome to the Cam Ward Show. He's a rookie though, with a terrible team around him. He even says the team is mid. Don't be surprised at all if he and this team struggles this year. I have him going 4-13. Washington Commanders. This team was insane last year under rookie Jaden Daniels. They look to repeat what they did last year and build on it this year. It all comes down to if Daniels can avoid the dreaded second-year slump that plagued so many great quarterbacks over the year. I think they take a small step back this year, finishing at 10-7. What do you agree with on this list? What do you not agree with on this list? Let me know down below, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Make sure to subscribe.